Yeah, it's nice to finally meet you. I see your name everywhere and I see the stuff you're doing all the time.
I love it. And you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, Toronto.
Yes. Yay. I have like 6 billion questions. I feel like you've been on my radar for a really long time because you popped up on social media forever ago, and I've just been sort of watching you in the corner, but like in a not creepy way.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. So you're the disability awareness consultant, author, great dude. We have friends in common who has said he's a cool guy.
Awesome.
And how are you doing?
I'm good. It's finally spring here. Spring slash summer, so it's nice to finally be able to get outside and not be, stuck in the snow.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh, absolutely.
as
And
a
so,
Canadian, snow is what we do. So,
yeah, it's a long winter. I'm from upstate New York, so I
also
know,
basically the same weather system.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know cold, I know wet, I know misery, I know seasonal depression.
Oh, yeah. It's the sad is real, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I usually prepare for these interviews, and I was preparing for this interview, and I was getting nervous because I wanted to, like, I don't know, I have a lot of questions, and a
I'm
lot of
ready.
it's
I'm ready.
some of it, and it's not even like big questions. It's just basic, like respect, like because I know terminology is a big thing. And when I was introducing you, and your book is called Notes from a Queer Cripple, and it just triggered me a little because I'm like, wait, I don't think I'm supposed to use the word cripple.
Well, I'll say this: in my
Tell me.
presence, you're allowed to.
Okay.
It's a term that for me, for myself, not for any other disabled person, just for me, that I
Yeah.
have reclaimed and made a thing of positivity. I like the word cripple because it's very clear. We know immediately what we're talking about. Um, it and it's fun to play with, and it's fun to make people feel a little bit, I'm just a little bit unsure of what they're supposed to do here, and
Yeah.
that's why I called the book Notes from a Queer Cripple, because I wanted to be very direct as to what I was talking about, and to make disabled people feel like they had a place, disabled queer people feel like they had a place, and then non-disabled queers feel like they were like, oh, I can learn about this, but I have a lot of work to do.
It's like respect is like where I want to come from. So if any of my questions or comments sound naive or dumb,
Oh no, I'm
I
not.
hope they don't.
My job is to be an educator. My job has been the last 13 years to be an educator, so I'm
Yeah.
not at all shy about the dumb questions, quote unquote dumb questions. I think,
Yeah.
I think people don't know what they don't know, and a lot of people don't know disability because it doesn't affect them directly.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect them. Maybe they don't have friends or family who they know have disabilities, especially in my case with severe disabilities.
Sure.
Um, that's just a new ball game for a lot of people. So me personally welcome the questions. Another disabled person might say not so much,
Gotcha.
but I think that the questions are it's a learning curve, and everybody learns it their own way. And I think if I can, it's not my responsibility to educate you, but it's an
Right.
opportunity to. So I'm gonna take that opportunity today. So don't feel
Yeah.
scared or shy or worried.
Whew. Whew. That was a good icebreaker. Yeah. So tell, and like in a nutshell, tell me if people are listening or watching, they don't know this is the first time learning about you. uh, What, like yourself in a nutshell,
Wow.
like just to give, uh, or a big nut shell. Did I just say big nut?
Yeah, we could just stop at Big Nut and we'll be great to go. Um, Me in a nutshell, okay? Hi, my name's Andrew Gurza. I'm a disability awareness consultant and author of Notes from a Queer Cripple. I've been doing this work for 13 years now, kind of by myself as a freelancer. I finished school. I have a master's degree in legal studies and disability. Um, and when I was done school, nobody would hire me, so I was like, "Fuck you! I'll make my own job." Um, and I would look for, jobs. I wanted to do disability consulting, and nobody at the time in 2013 really had a spot for me. And I wanted to talk specifically about sexuality and disability, and no one that was not a thing. People told me, "Oh, that's a nice idea, but it's a hobby." It's not a real
Oh,
dog.
yeah. I didn't know if it's also because it could be considered taboo in some way as
Well,
well. Or
probably that too. But a lot of people
gotcha.
told me that it wasn't a
Oh,
valid career path. I should focus on getting a job in the government or getting, which I understand because, well, at the time, not now. At the time, government gave you like job security and
sure.
support.
Benefits and
Yeah,
maybe, hopefully.
and so I kind of just basically said I'm gonna do this on my own, and I printed a card off Vistaprint, put my name on it, said I'm a disability consultant, having no idea what the fuck that meant, and just
Sure.
handing it to people saying, okay, here's what I do. And I cold approached queer magazines like The Advocate, Out,
Sure.
and just said, hey, have you had anybody talking consistently about queer disabled sex? And they went, no, we really don't. So I continually pushed them to let me write for free because I wanted to get my name out there. So I was like, sure, I'll write you free articles.
Sure.
Sure, no problem. And so for the first couple of years, that's what I did, just get my name out there. And so from then, from there, I decided to move the work I do into a podcast called Disability After Dark. And then um, from that, I do social media, like little tweets about disability. And then from there, a publisher approached me and said, "We love your tweets. Would you write a book?"
Yeah.
So there's so much more I could go into, but that's
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and like, what a better person to like champion for like disability like rights and causes than probably somebody that has a disability, just to really come from a place of like understanding and experience and all that such thing. Like you live it day in day out.
yeah, it's
Have you seen things improve? I know sort of like it's so much has to improve, but have you seen like the ball move or roll a little bit or any sort of improvement?
I wish I could say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking specifically about the queer disabled experience,
That's like a whole nother
like,
ballpark, right? Yeah.
fuck no. I mean, queer men are the worst.
Yeah, we
And
are.
it pains me that I'm attracted to them. Like, wow. Um, because they
It's
can
like, I
be,
hate you so much. Show me your dick.
yeah, pretty much. You're such an asshole, but I want to fuck you. Shit.
You're disgusting. Fuck me.
Yeah, basically. But I haven't really seen a big change in that community, unfortunately.
Okay.
There's not a lot of represent there. It's getting better, and I've done work to ensure it gets better. Like I was
Sure.
a consultant on that one season reboot of Queer as Folk.
Okay.
I consulted and acted in that. My book. I've done adult film. I've done
Yeah.
just stuff to be like, hey, we're here too, and our bodies deserve the same attention that like, the hard gym muscle body guys get.
Yeah, it is getting yourself out there in all genres too. Because I guess I feel like you stay in one lane, people then maybe expect you to just stay in that lane. He's an advocate, but like I also, when I saw your adult work with John Shield, he's the friend of mine.
He is a fantastic human.
He is. But also seeing you like with your wings spanned out like into larger areas and arenas, that sort of like expanded my mind a little bit too. And I was like, damn, they don't. I mean, people with disabilities don't need to stay in this lane. Like, there shouldn't be obstacles. There's physical obstacles, but
I mean, there are obstacles, but if given the money and opportunity and access, disabled people should be everywhere, but especially in queer spaces. And why shouldn't you watch a 22-minute video of a disabled person fucking? Like, why
yeah.
shouldn't that be
Well,
something?
I think therein with lies questions like around like intimacy and sex. I think when people that aren't disabled or have disabilities are unaware, when they think of like intimacy and sex, I think that's where the questions come up. And I think myself included, I'm like, how do you ask these questions and who do you ask these questions to and when? But like, so watching your video, I did some research.
Research.
And but it did sort of answer questions like physicality questions about like how does sex with somebody in a wheelchair works, and I guess that's individual per person as
Of
well.
course, yeah. But what I love about that video, and before John and I shot it, we sat down for like half the afternoon and plotted out like, what do we want it to look like? How do we want to
Sure.
show the disability? And I was very clear with him. I said, I want to show you and me making it out of my wheelchair. I want to show you getting me out of my wheelchair. I want to show you undressing me so that
Yeah.
somebody who is like, I'm afraid to fuck this disabled guy. I'm so scared. What do I do?
What am I getting into?
Yeah, there's like a primer for them to see how you would engage intimately with somebody with a disability. And so I loved what it was. I loved that it was playful. I loved there was like a weird brothers element to the thing, which
Yeah.
we kind of played with. And like now we jokingly will call each other bro because it's funny and stupid. But like, I love that film.
And even boners. I mean, I'm going to be really explicit. Like, you have a boner. And I think some people's questions with thinking about sex or wanting to have sex with a person with disability, that's maybe one of their first questions. Like, can this person I'm attracted to get a boner?
Yeah, I mean, there's a misconception that everybody in a wheelchair is paralyzed.
Yeah,
Like,
this got really sexy fast. I'm sorry, but you
Oh,
know
no,
me by
I'm here
you
for
should know
it.
me by now. Yeah.
I'm here for it. It's fine. We're good. There's a misconception that everybody with a disability in a wheelchair is paralyzed.
Sure.
I am not paralyzed. I live with cerebral palsy, which just means for me that I can't walk. I need help with every aspect of daily living, including dressing, showering, using the bathroom, all the things that you could stop tape right now and take for granted and go do. I need
Sure.
somebody to do with me and for me.
Right.
So
I like that you said with you.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can get back to that. I like it as like with you and not just like for you.
I mean, sometimes it is for me, but generally I like to, build a relationship with the person helping me too, because that's important. But,
Yeah.
there is a misconception that every person with disabilities in a wheelchair like me can't get a boner, can't get turned on, can't fuck. And
Right.
I haven't seen the video in a while because I don't watch my own stuff because that's weird. But,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we fucked in that video. Like, I'm pretty sure there was penetration. I don't quite remember it, but I think so.
Yeah.
Wow, it's got really sexy. Really,
I know it's expected to me, and there's no boundaries. Well, except for like mean or that because those type of comments on here. But like, oh yeah, sex. I love talking about sex and poop and all the stuff.
wow,
Not
I
sex
love how we
and
went
poop.
from sex to wow. What a time already.
I am so random. I am so random, by the way, but that's my charm.
And John's a good friend of mine. He's also a sex worker that I've been
Yeah.
working with now for 8 years now. We've been seeing each other.
Sure.
And so the only person that I wanted to film this with was him when I was approached by him or else to do something like this. Now 6 years ago, I approached him and said, "You're the only one that I really trust to do this with. Would you consider doing this?" And he immediately said, "Sure, no problem. Let's figure it out." And it was nice because we did it in my home. Like, where you're seeing me have sex is my house. It's my bed. It's my room. It's like, there was no set. There was, let's fuck in your house and have a camera there.
Sure. Well, that's the thing with like accessibility too. Just as far as like hookups or hookups or cruising and that type of thing. It's just different for you. There's a lot more preparation.
Preparation, and there's also getting queer men to think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
The idea that you can cruise and hook up and like you go on Grindr or Sniffies or any of those apps and like have somebody over in 0.2 seconds. That's not a reality for me. Like, if I'm gonna fuck, it needs to be super duper planned, and I need to plan it all out to the letter.
I wrote this down from your book, like one of those things, a disability disclosure.
Yeah.
There's like a term I've never heard about, but I like that. I just like the phrasing, disability disclosure.
It's pretty common for a lot of us. We, have to decide when do I tell somebody about my disability? How much do I share? If I share with them, will they leave? Will they run away? And I didn't put it in the book, but I mean, last year, a year and a half ago, I had a date with a guy. Met him on the apps, met him on Scruff. Scruff sponsored me, thank you. I met him on Scruff, and we chatted for like a week before he showed up here. He was from the UK, and he knew I was disabled. He was fully aware of all the things. and he came for coffee. We had some laughs. It was great. And then after the coffee, I was like, "Oh, do you want to come back to my place?" Because there was a vibe and there was a feeling. I was like, "Oh, let's
Yeah.
see what happens." So he came back to my place and he walked in and he saw my equipment
Okay.
and he turned around and he walked out. And he
Right.
texted me like 20 minutes later. It was like, "Whoa, it's not you. I just, I was hoping for like really easy sex and really can't
Right.
provide that." And so I can't do this. And I was like, okay. Like, and those things never get easier. Those things
Sure.
don't really get simpler. And it's always painful to be like, if you just open your mind a bit, you could have had a mind blowing experience with somebody.
Yeah, especially if you've disclosed things, you know what I mean? I can see one things where like, in like the little dating app pick squares or like a sexy picture of you shirtless, you know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
and like you could live in that world for so long, but I think when like you come back and you disclose
And you widen it
disability,
out.
you widen out, you see the person, you see the whole person, then you expect, especially when you've shared that much, that person to be into it, and
If you
then
see the whole person, you might see the person's whole. Period. The end.
yeah,
Like,
done.
there it is. There it
Oh,
is.
yeah. Well, I guess I don't want to make it this all about just sex and dating, but
I
like
mean, we can. It's fine.
we can. But like as far as it's Pride season, woo woo.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I of course I've been out my whole entire life. I've never had like a coming out moment. I've just been like the little weird kid, and everyone knew I was queer from the get go. So I never
I
had a
mean, I would
coming
have
out.
hung out with you. You seem pretty cool.
Thank you. I'm just a weirdo, and so like in high school, I kind of like I hid behind the weirdo vibe. So I was just the weirdo punk rocker kid. So like I didn't get clocked as queer because I was just weird, and so from there I just never came out because I was always just out. But I say that because I'm proud of the community and all the work and all that kind of stuff. But when Pride Month does come along, I am a little bit like, ugh. I live Pride every day. I fight the fight every day.
Yeah.
But that said, it is Pride season, and I was curious your experiences with like Pride celebrations
I
and
don't love it.
parties and bars and
I don't.
street
I
fairs.
don't love it. Any of it because it's often not accessible. I love the idea of Pride, but
Yeah.
it's often not accessible. It's often expensive. Um,
Oh, the
I can't
price
get
tag.
into any of the bars that I want to go into to like because I don't want to necessarily. I don't only want to do the parade. I also want to go to like the dark room party and
Yeah.
the fuck party and the like. Oh, you're gonna meet a random in the dark room and we're gonna fuck party. Like I want to do that stuff and so
Yeah.
like that is part of Pride too. And that often for me is very inaccessible, especially in Toronto. Like all the bars that I want to go, like the Black Eagle's not accessible.
Yeah.
Um, like any of the bars that I would want to frequent, I can't get into. So I don't feel, and I'm constantly talking about how I'm queer, like just like you every day. I'm queer every day. So the season just feels like it's for white muscle gays to be like, yeah, we're here again. Did you forget we were
Yeah.
here? Oh, we're still here. Like, and that's fine and do your thing, but like there are other
Sure.
other facets of our community that need to be uplifted right now, and maybe it's not you.
Yeah, it's sort of like I definitely come across as like a Debbie Downer when it comes around Pride because I'm just like, oh God, it's like a party for our allies now, and I'm so proud that I'm so happy that we have allies, but it's like gaggles of like straight girls, white girls, and they're like rainbow tutus, and drinking and puking in the streets,
And
and
like, listen, I love those girls. Do your thing.
yes,
Live your best gay best friend life. But like, it's not for you. And
I do like the seedy underbelly bars that you're talking about too. That's like my whole vibe, like
like, I
dirty,
want to
grungy dive
go to the
bars.
dirty, grungy dick bars, and then
Yeah, there's a bar, and I was thinking of accessibility. I don't even know if it's around, but I lived in San Francisco for a long time. It was called Powerhouse. It was in the south of Market, and it was a great bar. Like it's more of like a seedy Levi's vintage T-shirt sort of
yeah,
bar.
like that's my
But
that's my vibe anyway. That's
but the sexy area, which when smoking was outlawed in bars, was like the back patio. But the back patio also had these like stairs that went down, and
oh
there was this
yeah,
like little dank dark porch. And I'm thinking of like that's where I like to hang out. I couldn't see. It was like sexy people. Well, I couldn't see if they were sexy, but I'm imagining that's where people went to have sex. And I'm thinking that's an area like if you were interested in, you couldn't get to.
yeah. And I mean, most of the bars, whether we're talking about Toronto or San Francisco, most queer bars are not accessible. And like,
Yeah.
that's just a shame. And I've been saying this, and I say this jokingly in the book, like, why can't we get the guys from Queer Eye to fucking go with a bunch of disabled people to every queer bar in the U.S. and be like, yo, you're not accessible. Let's make
Yeah.
it accessible. Like, there's
People
so,
love the word inclusive, but then
yeah,
you have to step back again and say, inclusive to who?
yeah.
Inclusivity
For
means
who?
for
For the white,
everybody, not inclusive for specific
for like the
people.
white muscle gays, cool, then it's inclusive. But for the rest of us, no, it's not. And so, like, we put so much money towards AIDS life cycle and all this stuff we're doing, which we should, of course we should.
Yeah.
But can we not divert like 20% of those funds to build a fucking ramp?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I want to see a freaking ramp at a gay bar that goes up to the stripper pole that you can cruise up that ramp and you could be slutty and roll around the stripper pole or
I
however
mean,
you choose to use it.
yes, I'm here for that. Or hang out with a stripper on the pole. Who knows?
Right, right. Like how, like what if you can't? Because I love stripper bars. Like I was just in one in West Hollywood recently, and Mickey's, and all the strippers are like big, straight muscle guys with big dicks or prosthetics. And I love watching the people at the bar tip them because when they tip, their hand like goes into their underwear and
Of
it
course.
plays around with that. And I want that for you.
I mean, I'm here. I would love to. First of all,
Like if you don't want to strip on the stripper pole, at least I want you to be able to tip the dancers
I
properly
mean,
and
I
let
would
you.
love to have somebody strip me on the pole. I could be there, and somebody could do it for
Yes.
me. Why not? Why not? I have a big dick. Why not? Why couldn't
I
somebody? I
Let's
mean,
make it happen.
you saw the porn. I'm quite well endowed.
I love this so much. Like I have such a vivid imagination. That's why I don't need to do drugs. I just imagine you cruising up on that pole and stripping and all sorts of stuff, and like people just flying,
I
throwing
mean,
money at
listen,
you.
I'm here for that. Sure, sure, sure.
Woo! It's freaking early, and this conversation is hot.
Wow, we have just. I mean, do you need a minute?
Yes.
Do you want some time?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm sipping on my iced coffee.
Nice.
I come
Nice.
across as a crackhead, but I don't do drugs.
Listen. Whatever your journey is, that's fine.
What is I'm curious about like another niche element. Like I know the sober community and the gay community or the LGBTQ blah 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 community is a big subculture community. What about queer, sober, crippled people?
I mean, that's me. I don't drink by choice.
I was curious, like if I just asked you 40 questions. I'm sorry,
Yeah, you did.
like if you go to a party and you want to get drunk, that looks very different from you because that means you have to pee and you need a caretaker.
or
and-
like, I make sure that I don't. Even if we're not talking about like, if I wanted to fly to see you,
Yeah.
as I just assume that's happening.
Yeah,
as
it
I-
is.
If I want to fly to see you or like fly to hang out somewhere or go on a vacation, like I have to ensure that I don't eat a lot the day of or don't drink a lot the day of because I have to worry about all the stuff. So like, if I wanted to get drunk at a party, which I don't because I don't drink, but if I wanted to like drink at a party, I'd have to, think about my intake and probably not drink a lot. And I have to think about, is the bathroom accessible? And for me, is the bathroom accessible? And is there somebody who's willing to help me
Right.
if I need it?
Into this intimate moment. It's like
Yeah.
not intimate sexy, but intimate, very
With
personal.
your body, it's very personal. Like,
Yeah.
for me to pee, and I'll be blunt, I need to use a catheter. So I
Yeah.
need somebody to like grab my dick and shove a thing in there.
Yeah.
So like that's a very personal thing you're doing. And so like
Absolutely.
it's like I would love to go to parties and get loaded, but that's just not a reality. I have to be
Yeah.
much more mindful of my body and much more responsible than I think the average like 22-year-old gay person out there hanging out.
Yeah, you have to think it out. Are there other people out and about and outspoken in the how do I say your community, the disabled community, that
There
you
you go.
look up to and that you think are really doing a good job being outspoken? Because I right now can't think of any. Well, I could think of one guy. I think his name is Carson Tuller. But
Yeah.
I think he is mostly famous because he's sexy. So it's just like, yes,
I mean,
he's
he's
in a
really hot.
wheelchair. Yeah.
and he's a good dude. I've had him on my show. He's a nice guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know nothing bad about him. I'm saying he's the other person that I think about, and the first thing I think about him is like because he's sexy. That's how I know him,
Yeah, he's hot.
and
Like
he's in a wheelchair.
he's a hot dude. But I think, I think of him, I think of Spencer West, who's
Okay.
a social media guy. He's disabled and queer and does like TikToks on disability.
I'm gonna have to look him up. I'm unaware of him. Yeah.
He's a good dude. He has no legs and does like not necessarily queer stuff, but does stuff around like accessibility in Toronto, going on
Okay.
trips, being a speaker. I
Oh.
look up to him, and he's a friend of mine. I think about, I just think about the disabled people the disabled queer people that don't have a platform, that aren't
Hmm.
heard about. I'm always like, I want to hear from you. What's your story? Because, yeah, it's great that I can do this, and it's great that I have the reach to do what I'm doing, but also, like, I'm aware of my privilege. I'm a white,
Hmm.
cis, disabled queer person with the ability to speak and think for myself. And so
Yeah.
there's a whole fuck ton of privilege in that. If I was a black disabled person or a person of color with disabilities, I probably wouldn't be given the same opportunity as I have right now. So I think about them, and I definitely try to unlearn my own privilege sometimes. Like, how do I give them a platform? How do I help
Yeah.
them grow
That's
with?
amazing that like you still recognize that even in your situation, your condition, your life, you have privilege. You know, it's just
Oh, I have a
it's
ton of it. I have a ton of it, and I'm
yeah.
learning in the world we live in today to use it right. And that takes a lot of unlearning too, because we're all girded by white supremacy. We're all girded by these
Yeah.
things we don't realize that we're just kind of indoctrinated into without realizing it. And so I have to use my platform to uplift them. And sometimes I have to sit down and be like, oh, it's not about me today. I have to shut up.
Yeah. Ugh. So what things that could someone like myself who has like a small-ish platform but not tiny do to be more supportive or be more helpful? Is it like just having conversations like this, or like profiling people like yourself,
Well,
or
that, and also like I'd love to know, like, you said you had a ton of questions. I'd love for you to just rapid fire some of them at me.
I immediately was just about to say, are you able to cook for yourself?
No. So I have caregivers who know how to cook. I'll tell them what I want, and they prepare the food.
Sexy wise, are you able to ejaculate?
Wow. Yes. And
These are
if you're,
these are questions. Yeah.
and if you're, if you're really an eagle eye, you can see it in the video.
Okay.
You saw the whole video, yeah?
Yeah, I
Right?
have. Yeah, yeah.
So then the answer is yes.
What are some extracurricular things you like to do that
Extra.
people might be surprised about that are outside of the bedroom, Andrew?
Okay, well, all right, a series.
That are outside.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say jokingly I like doing guys named Mike, but
You're like,
um,
I like to go to cruising spots in the woods.
yeah, I mean, but really though, that would be a dream. But extracurricular stuff, I'm a nerd. I like old TV, like 50s and 60s stuff. Like I Love Lucy. I like I'm a big nerd. I like just nerding out and watching, like, I like watching people play video games. I like I just did a little park by my house, and it's summer here. So I go like 1 to 2 hours every day, and I walk around the park and I listen to audiobooks and murder podcasts, and like
Uh, murder
I
podcasts. I
I
love. People are obsessed with murder podcasts. I don't listen to any, but I think I
love
should.
them. They're so fun, cause and I know they're talking about horrible stuff, but it's just fun to like
Yeah,
then
I like murder mysteries, serial killer TV shows.
yeah, like that kind of
Like
stuff.
you, that was just on I think Netflix. I love that show.
I mean, I think you love that show for a very specific reason, but
Joe,
I mean, Joe's hot.
yeah, Joe's hot.
Listen, Penn Badgley, can you fuck me in the woods and then kill me, please? Thanks.
I just want him to come on my face and kiss me. Whoa.
Whoa,
Okay.
I mean, I could do that, but I mean,
Hey, this is going to be on a public platform on YouTube, and I can't say too much stuff, or they're just going to shadow ban me even
be mon-
further.
even further. Oh no, they have already. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm shadow banned and everything because you see my posts on Instagram and Facebook. Like on Facebook, there's like almost 30,000 people, and like 5 people see it. So something's
Oh
going on with my
god.
content.
Oh
Like
no.
that's why sometimes when I reach out to like content creators or people that have like huge audiences, I understand like if they're like, nah, I don't want to talk to you on your podcast because your engagement is so small, and I know that's sort of like the
That's
world
the
we live
dumbest thing
in.
I've ever heard in my life. Like, why? Who can? The fact that we are monetizing a stupid number the computer gives us.
Yeah,
Like, what? It's just so sad. I love small creators. I see myself as like a. I consider myself a small creator. I don't. I
yeah,
don't have. I have a couple thousand people on Instagram, but I don't like. I'm learning to let go of all that bullshit and just be like, yeah,
yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. And the stuff
I'm
you're doing, like, I think it's cool when
yeah.
somebody has the balls to put shit out there. It's hard.
I'm a little bit like turned off by just people who are just influencers. Like they have no talent and they're not, they're just, I don't know.
Or they're
The
pretty. And,
term influence these days is sort of like a turn off to me.
oh yeah, I hate it. And people have called me an influencer, and I'm like, could you please not use it? I really don't like it. Like, ew, gross.
It
Ew.
has its place. But it's like the way it's evolved. Like I feel like I was one of the very first influencers of the gay community. Cause
I
like,
heard
and
about
like,
you 10 fucking years ago.
well,
Like,
well, that's when it was happening when like I was influencing for like TV shows like HBO and stuff like that. Just like
like I
invited
have
behind
heard
the
your,
scenes.
I heard your name way before I ever talked. Like, I knew who you were long before I ever talked to you. And then, just randomly, I saw your interview with Stefan.
Oh yeah, Stefan Wiener.
Like last week, and I was like, I'm gonna finally properly reach out to him and be like,
Yeah,
I want to
I
come
freaking
in.
love that. Yeah, I love Stefan Wiener too. He's
He
so talented and he's so cute.
he's the
Is he?
nicest dude in the world.
He gives off just like sweet guy vibes.
Like a sweet queer, just nice dude doing a thing, and like. So when I saw he was on your show, I was like, I wanted to talk to Accidental Bear for a long time.
Yes,
But
we
I was
got
shy and
this.
nervous because I was like, maybe the guy's a prick. I don't know. So I'm gonna
Oh no,
I'm gonna reach out.
I am a prick sometimes, but I'm only a prick if someone makes me be a prick, and then I'll be a prick.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
So I was like, I'll just reach out and see what happens, and maybe he'll be like a muscle gay that doesn't want to talk to me. Because I reached out to like big queer creators and been like, hey, I'm trying to shill this book in the
yeah,
world. Can I come on your show and do like an hour talking about the book? And they just won't respond because they're big creators.
yeah. It's a funny world, and like I've said publicly that I give it up millions of times, and then I always kind of come back because I crave sort of talking to people, and like. In my real life, like I was telling you, I'm a zookeeper, and so
I
like I
love
work
that
at
for
this
you.
safari park, and I take care of like wild animals. It's a very blue collar job, but I then missed this part of like being like I don't know if I'm part of the word community, but I missed talking to like creators and creative types and that kind of stuff. So I'm back after like the 5th time of saying goodbye.
Not that I'm flirting with you, but I'm gonna flirt with you
It's
a little
okay.
bit. Do you have a person?
Yes, actually, the funny thing is, we're
Oh,
open
look at
now.
that. Good for you,
But, but,
person.
but we're open. We've been open for a long time. He also says don't talk about me. On the because he's a school teacher, so he's just much more
Well,
private.
of course.
But actually, today is our 11th year anniversary,
Oh, congratulations. That's
and
great.
it's my birthday today.
Well, how old are you today?
I've turned 53. I'm trying to embrace that.
What? You're so fucking hot. Dude.
Oh,
I mean,
I love
sorry.
you.
Sorry that not that you couldn't be on if you were older or younger, but wow.
I love flirting. I'm a flirt. But yeah, I turned 53, and for the last couple of years, I've really been avoiding that conversation because, like, I don't want to be 53 because I don't like to be. I feel old. But I turned
Well, guess
53
what?
today, and I should embrace it.
You should. Happy fucking birthday.
Thanks, buddy.
I hope somebody
Gemini.
blows on your candle because I hope.
I hope so. I'm gonna get off the phone, sign in to Scruffy's, Daddy Hunt,
Listen.
Scruff,
Fly me out.
Grindr.
Where are you? You're not in San Francisco anymore. You're in San Diego.
No, I'm in San Diego now.
Listen, it's not very accessible there. I was there a couple years ago. Not super accessible, but fly me out. We will
Yeah,
hang
we'll-
out.
We'll go through the neighborhood, the gayborhood, Hillcrest, and just like put big flags in areas that are like unacceptably
Yeah.
inaccessible.
Yeah, that's right. We'll do an Accidental Bear exclusive
Yes.
video.
We'll walk the streets.
Yeah, that's right.
So also, the rapid fire question didn't come, but I was thinking in the completely opposite direction. Like if you're cruising with somebody and then all of a sudden you get the vibe that they're fetishizing you as a person with a disability. How do you address that? Do you go through with it? Like, let's say they're just fucking hot. You all of a sudden realize they're fetishizing you. Do you call it out
Well,
or do you go
sometimes,
with it?
it's funny. I got asked this question yesterday. I just did Pup Amp and Daddy Christopher's.
Oh, okay. I
What's
know
the
Pup
favorite?
from billion years ago.
I just spoke to him yesterday for his pod to show the book, and he asked me the same. He asked me a similar question, like, "What do you do when you're being fetishized?" It depends. If you're like, if you go on my Scruff profile right now,
Okay.
my name is Cerebral Ballsy. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm
Shout
playing.
out. Yeah.
Like, I'm playing with the fact that I'm disabled. Sometimes my name is Big Dick Crip. Sometimes my name is Bear in a Chair. Like, I know. Like, why not
Your
play?
audience, yeah.
Yeah, like why not play with it? Why not make it a joke? Why not make somebody chuckle a bit? I know exactly who I am.
It might also weed out people from the beginning
Yeah, I
with
have no
intentions.
trouble fetishizing myself. I think I can't say it either. Fetishization
Yeah, got it.
is okay to a point as long as you're not dehumanizing the person. So I take issue when people fetishize a black body simply because they're black, or fetishize, a trans body simply because they're trans. That's weird and kind of like if you were fetishizing my body just because I was disabled.
Sure.
That's weird. But if you were like, if I allow you to say, touch my big joystick, or
Yeah.
I'm your big dick crip daddy, whatever it is, like that's fine for me.
It's like also fetishizing you just because of your disability. It's really weird. I just imagine like they're not seeing you as a person or your face. It's almost like if you took your image in the video and they just like fuzzed out your face. They didn't care who you were as the person individually. They just saw you in the wheelchair and your
It's so
disability.
funny when you watch that video with John and I. Like when that video came out, there were comments from people being like, "Wow, John is such a good person for being with,
Pity sex, right?
and yeah, like John is such a good guy for being with him. Like good for you for." And it was like, hey, I was there too. Like, did you watch the video? Because I was also there, like doing it. What? So
Yeah.
like, I'm really mindful of people who try to fetishize. I play with it to a point, but if you're gonna dehumanize anyone, then that's not fun anymore.
I guess like you were saying, like in some of your texts and Instagram posts, like things move, like conversations, terms. I think I read the term you use moves a lot, like the conversation.
Yeah.
The day and day abilities.
Language moves, disability moves. It's not
like
a
what you
static-
need today is different than tomorrow.
Yeah, like it's not a static thing. And
Have you ever had your caretaker there when you had a trick to assist you? Not with the
No, but
little stuff.
I
but like,
have had them there for prep. So
Okay.
and I was with John probably about 6 years ago. It was my 35th birthday. I was with John and another worker, and we were fucking. And I told the attendants from 1 to 4, don't come in my room. I'm busy. And I told them this. I said, don't come in. I'm busy. Don't come in.
Got it.
They said, okay. Somebody didn't get the message because all of a sudden I hear a knock on the door in the middle of fellatio and ass eating with these two workers on top of me. Like I'm in fucking heaven. I'm having the greatest time ever.
Right.
And I hear a knock on the door like, "Hi, it's Laundry," and I've never seen two people jump up so fast and like cover themselves. And it was really funny because that would I love that story because it would only happen to somebody with a disability. It would only happen to somebody who needs support, and it's a funny story that I can share to be like, whoa, we're all human. It's fine.
I think patience must be required as your partner as well for it to work sexually.
I think, for me, the person that I'm with, especially if they're able-bodied, they have to be more selfless, and gay men are not selfless. Gay men are extremely selfish, and I understand that. I understand why we've had to be over the years. I get that. But we have to grow up, and we have to realize that it isn't all about us all the time. And if you're going to be with a disabled person, which is why I love that I have the privilege to work with sex workers. Like, thank God for sex workers because they've allowed me to have a sex life,
Sure.
period. Like, thank goodness for them. But I love working with them because it's not a hookup. I can phone them up and say, I want to do this during our session. I want to do this. I'd like to do this. Can we
Right.
plan for this? And they'll say yes or no. But then there's an anticipation of like, ooh, that's gonna be really fun. I get to anticipate this, as opposed to like, let's do it right now. And then like the quick, easy sex for me has
Yeah.
never been a thing. It's always had to be planned out.
That's more of a gamble too, I guess, because you just really never know.
You never know who you're getting. And like, I remember I was with a guy years ago. It was 2 a.m. Met him on Grinder, and he came over and he started taking out his phone, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, he
Like,
thought he was going to start filming you?
I didn't agree to this.
Yeah.
And he started filming him giving me a blowjob, and I was like, "This is not what I agreed to." Like, no. And so, like, why I work with workers now primarily is that it's feels safer to work with them because
Mm,
they know what their job is. They know,
yeah.
like, and I love working with, like, John. Before I met him, had never worked with a disabled client before, and so I'm proud that I've showed him the ropes. And so if he wants to work with another client with disabilities, he knows what to do. Like, that's a really cool
Right.
thing that I get to impart
I
on.
imagine like your teaching and your education, whether you don't feel like it's your responsibility, but like it's a slow process. Like instead of like it happening like overnight, someone's gonna watch this, share it with billions of people, and everyone's gonna change their mind about relationships with disabilities, whether it's intimate or not. I just imagine like a lava flow. People think lava is really fast, but lava just moves
Yeah,
really
really slow.
slowly, but it keeps on moving. Well, what
And I
are some
mean,
like
hopefully,
looking forward, what are some things like almost right away that you are up to, where people
um,
can keep in touch with you? What's the best place? Is it Instagram? I feel like we could talk for hours and hours, but I don't want to keep you for too
well,
long.
you
But
should come on my show and talk about and just ask me more questions. Like, that'd be fun.
I would love to hear that. I do probably have more questions. I kind of went blank, but some of them feel like just generic questions, like we were asking about, like legit, like boner, coming, that kind of stuff.
I
Like,
mean, boner and coming. That's very. I mean, I yes to all those things.
and like that's also like I know it's really independent, and also like I think people a lot of times when people do see someone in a wheelchair, they think that this person won't be able to get a boner. But
Or
anyways,
I had a really famous. I'm not gonna say his name, but he rhymes with Bobby Meller. Um,
okay,
really famous porn star, and I did an interview with
okay.
him probably 10 years ago for Manhunt. Remember that
Before
website?
before Bobby Meller came out as a Trump supporter.
Yeah, that
Okay,
one.
okay.
Before, so I did an interview with him, and he was like my favorite porn star. I was obsessed with him. I was like really into
I,
him for
I understand
a
why.
good long time, and we hit up a friendship on the social media. And then Manhunt said, "Would you want to do an interview with him for our for like some
Sure,
video stuff?"
sure.
And I said, "Of course I fucking do. It's Bobby Meller. Of course I do." Um, and so we did the interview. It was fine. And at the end of the interview, I said, "Would you ever consider, being with somebody in a wheelchair like me?" And this was not recorded. This was off the recording. But I said, "Would you ever consider, being with someone like me?" And he goes, without missing a beat, says, "No, I don't think I'd enjoy myself because there's so much that you can't do." And I went, "Oh, okay." And my heart broke in like a million pieces. I was like, "Oh, this person that I admired and like got off to."
Right.
Like, I was like, "Oh,
And
oh."
that shouldn't be a reaction at all. You shouldn't feel bad. You should be like, fuck you. But then I'm sure since this was somebody that you had been attracted to, you're like, oh,
Yeah, oh, like, oh, all right. And so, like, it broke my heart in 1,000 pieces. And since then, I've just been like, I'm just like, okay, you
it's
do.
hard to put yourself out there. You ask the question, like you don't get unless you ask. And like,
Yeah.
that's a bummer because I was in love with that person too. And I just wanted to like live right underneath his ball
Oh
sack
my
on his little
God.
hairy taint.
He
I just
was,
wanted to live there. But after hearing the story, I'm going to move out. I'm not going to live there anymore under
well, thank you.
his taint. I'm going to pack up my bags and say that was not cool.
And then when he did the Trump thing, I was like, oh man. I was like, man. I was like, we were all here for you. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, I actually reached out to a friend of his recently, not recently, like a year ago, and said, "Hey, because I saw Smokey Meller, whatever his name, pop back up on social media and like doing porn again," and I was like, "Oh, hey, I'd love to talk to him." This is what I was asking his friend to talk to him, just to ask him what's up, how he's feeling. Does he still feel the same way before? How do you feel about coming out as a supporter of Trump and then losing so many fans? But I never got a response.
Of course, because they
I
were,
just wanted to hear what he was thinking, like as far
yeah,
as like
like,
being like, do you have remorse?
do you
I
realize
mean,
that you like basically told every gay person that jerked off to you that they're not important to you?
yeah, I don't know. It was just a thing. I don't know who do I think I am to even reach out to ask these questions. But I was just curious. I saw that he was active again, so I'm not gonna reach out and say what's up.
I mean,
What's up?
I put that story in the book. I didn't name him. I just
Yeah,
said a really prominent porn star. Blah, blah, blah. So
Schmoby Meller.
yeah, it was Smokey Miller, but like so that kind of stuff. What they say, never meet your heroes. He was a sexual hero of mine for a
Oh,
long time,
yeah,
and now I'm just like, oh well, I can't consume anything you make because that's
yeah.
weird.
Well, that's also a weird thing too. Like not wanting to like. You see a video of his and jerk off to it. This is going to be so random, but welcome to my world. But also when I'm on Pornhub or X Hamster or something like that, I see porn stars who have passed away, and I'm like, oh
Well,
my god, do I keep jerking off to that or do I stop?
I mean, didn't you just hear about Colby Folks just died like
Yes,
the
that was
other
so
day?
random because we had just become recent friends, and he was one of those ones that's like he's so sexy, but I was like, ugh. I don't know if he's interesting because that's the trap I fall into. Like, oh, he's fucking sexy, but is he interesting? But he's sexy, but is he
I mean,
interesting?
okay, total 180. So, what trap do I fall into in the last 48 minutes of us talking? Am I in the sexy trap, but not you're not sure if I'm interesting or what? How?
I like to be mysterious. I may watch the John Andrew Gurza video again later for research
I mean,
purposes.
all right, I'll take that. I'll take it. That's fine.
I am open to all things, but I have to say, I do question myself, like if I've, and I also going to say this, like I've never had sex with a person in a wheelchair,
We should change that. Just gonna.
but if I do think about it, I'm going to be really honest. Like I think to myself, and if I knew that person couldn't get a boner, I would be worried about me being turned on because like the person I'm with being aroused and like energized and a full boner gets me excited. So
Yeah.
I do have the question, like if I were to hook up with someone in a wheelchair, if I
Can
knew,
I rephrase the question for you?
yes,
When you hook up with the person in the wheelchair, cough me.
okay.
When that when that happens, it'll be fine.
Yeah, because and I only say that because that's honest, but like that would be an honest thought of mine, like and which is
And
it
that's a
just
valid thought. And my honest
yeah
response back to you would be, even if the person can't get it up, it doesn't mean they're not aroused.
yeah like that's just like sort of helps my thinking, and I feel like more people like yourself should be celebrated. I don't know, like I'm so glad you were able to talk and this worked out because like I feel like we've started a friendship. But I feel like more people like you, especially during Pride Month, need to be celebrated and asked to talk and be guests on shows.
And not just like guests on shows. Invite them to your dark room. Go on Amazon and buy a
Yes.
fucking ramp so your dark room's accessible. Like
Oh,
like have a queer disabled person at your pride event. Like make a point of trying to be inclusive, even if you're not 100%, even if it's not 100% accessible. Do your fucking
like
best.
make an effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've learned from this just talking to you and like humanizing you and hearing like the things that interest you and the fact that like there's a obstacle between you and like the dark room. That's my biggest goal now. Like I want you in every single dark room.
Like I
I want
just want
glory holes to be measured to the height of your wheelchair.
listen. I just want some random in a dark room to blow me, and then I'll say thank you so much. I'll see you later. Bye.
And then you'll just cruise away.
Yeah, and they'll all know it's me because you heard the wheelchair cruising away. But that's fine.
Oh my God, let's end on that. I just want to do my best to like do something, like make an effort to like for more visibility and like to sort of celebrate you and other people in the cripple community. You said I could say that word, but
You can
it's almost
say
felt like that almost felt like I was saying the N
you
word.
can say it with me, but if we're talking about everybody, you can say queer disabled community.
Queer disabled community. Okay, great. And so people can find Notes from a Queer Cripple on Amazon.
Amazon, wherever you get books. There's a digital copy and a physical copy. If you
Okay.
don't know about audiobooks, listen to Audible. I'm here. Pay me. I'll do it. Let me know.
Yeah.
I also give talks around the book, so if you want me to do a virtual book signing, my rates are because I ain't doing that shit for free.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no, you shouldn't.
pay me, thank you. My rates are at andrewgurza.com. You can follow me on social media at andrewgurza6. That's pretty much where I do all my stuff. And yeah,
Yeah, I love it. Let's keep talking and we'll talk again soon. Let's talk again another time. I feel like we need to have another conversation and I'll have like better rapid fire questions that aren't just about cum and boners.
I would love for you to come on my show and talk about cum and boners. That would be
All right. I might feel more free about that because I know my sister watches this, and I'm like, "Ugh, I already freak her out enough. She knows me now, but like, and I'm like, I think I've said cum and boners probably enough.
like 12 times today, at least. At least.
Yeah. So let's continue talking, and thanks for taking the time, and happy Pride Month,
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me.
and we'll talk again soon.
For sure.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.